Joining us now, CTV News public safety analyst and former OPP commissioner, Chris Lewis. Great to see you again, Chris.
You too, Carolyn.
Chris, these young adults were contacted through encrypted means, Telegram, Signal, WhatsApp, hired to carry out shootings, and then they had to videotape it to earn their payment. To me, all of this sounds shocking. Is any of this unusual to you?
Well, some of it is quite usual and some of it is unusual. In terms of the use of technology, I mean, this is right out of a movie where people are hiring young people to commit violent crimes, firing guns, potentially killing people in the process of doing that. Who knows where that may have led at some point. But at the same time, hiring young people by organized crime groups to commit crimes is not unusual. We've seen it in these brazen heists where they've gone into jewelry stores and stolen large amounts of jewelry in a quick smash and grab, or liquor stores, etc. Very common to use young people. But in the case of using firearms to commit offenses, hiring them through the use of technology, so basically anonymously, is a way different way of doing business that we may have seen with mob hits and different things over the years. Just a whole new environment.
And Chris, how about that last detail? The requirement that they videotape the shooting in order to receive payment. In fact, Toronto Police Chief Myron Demke referred to the fact that they obtained video showing the shooting and the videotaping of the shooting by supposedly a third party. What do you make of that?
Well, there's a couple of things. Number one, they're proving that it was done and that they did it. At the same time, whoever hired them then has video to maybe use against them if, in fact, at some point they have cause to not trust them anymore, or if they somehow or another implicate these other criminals. So there's a couple of different possibilities there, but you know, it's only guessing because we really don't know what the mindset here. As the chief said, they don't even know who's hiring them yet, let alone some of those other MO issues.
And let's talk about who is hiring them. We do know that these young people carried out the shootings, and again, there was a middleman who made the payment. They are working in concert with the RCMP and the FBI, that is Toronto Police Service, to try to get at who is pulling the strings at the top. But how will they be able to do that?
Well, obviously, they know a lot more than they're saying at this point. Some of the details police come out with today, they've got from somebody. Now, they've executed warrants, they've made arrests, they've interviewed a lot of people, they've actually seen these videos, so they've got a lot of information there. What I find interesting is that it's kind of a divergence of who the people may be and what their mandate may be in terms of hiring these kids, because shooting at Jewish schools or synagogues is one issue, and we can relate that back to anti-Semitism and ongoing conflict in the world. Gang-type shootings that are done at the residences of probably drug dealers that are working against or competing with local street gangs, that's another kind of group. And then somebody shooting at the U.S. consulate, which clearly has international ramifications, a whole different world, and maybe links to terrorism. So there's a whole pile of people out there, in some cases hiring the same folks and using the same guns for different crimes.
And add to that list, Chris, GFL, the waste management company with Toronto Police Service, spoke about today as being another victim of these shootings. So could we take that there are political or racial undertones to these shootings?
In some cases, I'm sure there are, but we really don't know. Some cases, it's just kind of gang activity and them shooting at doors of their competition. So there's a whole pile of things at play here. And once again, is it the same people being hired to do these things for multiple causes and maybe really not caring about anti-Semitism or racial issues or gang activity? They're just guns for hire? You know, that may well be, with no kind of, radicalization or any kind of personal motive by the shooters at all.
Chris, if there are foreign actors at play here, how difficult does this investigation become for police?
It's always difficult when they're foreign actors, but I mean, we're working together as law enforcement agencies in Canada and across the international borders better than ever in our history. I mean, to see the RCMP and integrated units that have OPP and PL and a bunch in them, and different GTA police services all working together. RCMP have ties internationally, through Interpol in Europe, around the world, with different liaison officers they have in different countries. So they'll work very closely with FBI and others as they have for a long time. And if they can find somebody, they will. And they know a lot more that way right now than they're saying as well.
One of the key pieces of evidence that Toronto police pointed to were 2 handguns that they have obtained. They say that those 2 handguns can be traced to 26 separate shootings in and around the city. And they suggested that these guns were actually swapped around by the criminal network, that it wasn't just one perpetrator using the same gun 26 times, same 2 guns 26 different times. Is that a common practice, to swap around guns like that?
I don't recall ever hearing anything of that magnitude ever. Generally, when guns are used in crimes, they're disposed of so that they don't get caught with them in their pockets or in their cars and ultimately have them traced back to different crimes they've committed. But to pass them around, I mean, you think of the old mob hit, kind of scenario. They'd shoot the gun off. It wouldn't be traced to anybody. It would be done. Not used in another homicide. But in this case, multiple causes for multiple targets for multiple people that are hiring these shooters. I mean, that's a whole new world here. But it's interesting that police are onto it like they are. And I'm sure good things and arrests are going to come out of this.
Chris, always appreciate you being on to help us make sense of what's going on in our world. Thank you.
My pleasure, Carolyn. Thank you.